Gamer, here to talk to you guys about EA and Ubisoft press conference all inside one video, given the fact that both of their press conferences was kind of weak this year. Usually they go out strong, but you know, a lot of stuff was stuff we already heard from last year E3, some stuff we already heard from the build up throughout this year and the end of last year, some new stuff, but you know, relatively it was weak. Before I even get into, first I'm starting off with EA, but before I get into EA, I want to talk about a game I talked about inside a few of my, inside one of my Gamers 2 casts a few episodes ago, and that is The Evil Within. You know, Bethesda got on there before the EA press conference and they talked about that game even more. They showed a little bit of gameplay and stuff like that, and it's a survival horror game, just in case you don't know what it is. And like I said, it's by Bethesda, the people that brought you Fallout. Hopefully there's going to be a Fallout 4 announcement. That's what everybody's waiting on. But anyways, that might be like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow when they announce something like that. But anyways, it looks like a Saw game. It looks like what the Saw game should have been. You know, the Saw game that came out for the PS3 and 360 and stuff like that, and it was okay. You know, some people liked it, some people didn't. Most people said once you play through it once, there's no reason to play through it again, and it's super short. As soon as I saw the gameplay, it reminds me of Saw. You know, what the Saw game should have been. I was on the edge of my seat just by watching the gameplay. You know, especially when, you know, the guy, you know, got free some kind of way. I wasn't really watching it, I was too busy typing some notes, but he had got free. He was hanging upside down, he got free, and then he was walking around. You see this big ass giant dude doing something to a dead body or something. I don't know if he's dead or alive, but yeah, and the dude creeping around, grabbed the keys and stuff like that. It reminds me of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like one of those movies or something where you're creeping around this big house and you don't know when the dude is about to come back, and that's why I was on the edge of my seat. And then he started chasing the guy down the hallway. That's some real good gameplay, some stuff that'll scare the crap out of you. You don't know what's going to come around the corner. You don't know where this dude is at. All of a sudden he starts chasing you. You run through this hallway, you got all kind of doors, don't know which one is locked, which one is unlocked. And once you do go through the door, you got to figure out what you're going to do after that. That's the kind of gameplay I like, and that's the kind of stuff that scare the crap out of you when it comes to like monster, survival horror, and stuff like that. But the only grief I got about it is it doesn't look all that good. You know, it looked okay. It didn't look next gen. It looked like, I don't know, it didn't look good at all. So hopefully they polish it up a little bit more, make it look a little bit better. But yeah, let's go ahead and move it over to EA. And this is not, when I talk about some of this stuff, this is not everything they showed. This is some stuff that stood out to me that I want to talk to you guys about. I forgot to mention that in my last video. But anyways, EA. Plants vs. Zombies. Now, first off, I've never been a Plants vs. Zombies player. You know, I was going to play it one time on my iPhone or something like that, but I just never really got into it. But the new Plants vs. Zombie, the new third-person look to it, it's really looking like I want to get into the Plants vs. Zombies game franchise just because of that. You know, just because they introduced something new. The new look looks very cool and fun, and it makes me, like I said, it makes me want to get into the game series, and not because it's a shooter element added to it. You know, a lot of people were like leaving instant messages saying, "Oh, well, now you can shoot now, like it's like a shooting element to it, so you know that appeal to us shooters out here." It's not because of that. Like I said, it's because of that third-person aspect of it, and because it feels like Cameo. I love Cameo. That's like one of my, you know, first 5 360 games when I got a 360, and that's the gameplay it feels like. It feels just like Cameo, with a little mixture of Skylanders, even though I never played Skylanders, but you can look at it and tell that it's like got those two kind of gameplays mixed into it. So I think I do want to get into that game and, you know, play that and start playing the little mini games and top-down games and stuff and have fun with that. Now, before I bring up this next game, I want to actually introduce it a little bit. Now, I know a lot of people are watching E3 for all kind of blockbuster games. It's going to make your next-gen consoles look amazing with all kind of graphical detail, all kind of little physics that the current-gen consoles can't do and only dream of. You know, I know everybody looking forward to like what's going to push my, you know, PC to the next boundaries, what's going to push me to buy that next gen console. But the thing, even though I was excited about a lot of these next gen games that look amazing with all kind of good gameplay, the thing that actually made me shout, you know, now sometimes you watch E3 and reveals and stuff like that, you literally like shout out loud like, hell yeah, that's what I'm waiting on, baby, yes. This game I'm about to say is going to probably surprise you that this is the only game I shouted on, even though I'm really loving a lot of these other games that I talked about in my last video and stuff. But Peggle II, and I like how the guy announced it. Like he was all like, and Peggle II, like
that's how I felt when he said it. Like I said, I wanted this game a long time ago. You guys just don't understand how much I love Peggle. Peggle is my game. I got Peggle on the iPhone, on my Xbox 360, on my DS, on my PS Vita, and on my PC. And guess what? I got Peggle Nights and the regular Peggle game for all those platforms, and I beat all of them across all those platforms. All the challenge modes, all the story modes across all those platforms I got the Peggle game on. If you don't believe me, I can break out every last thing and show you that I got Peggle on all those. Don't have me do it. I love Peggle that much. I don't know what it is. It's a very addictive game. Every time family, friends, whoever come over, they see me playing it. It's really easy to get into. My little like 5-6-year-old cousins be playing it, all the way up to like adults and stuff. People will come over and say, oh man, you playing a little kiddie game. But then as soon as I give them the controller, it's like they don't want to give it back to me. It's that addicting. It's fun. Anybody can get into it. You can be real competitive and get into it. You can be real like, you know, casual gamer and don't like all that competitiveness and still get into it. I got beat by little bitty kids and stuff because anybody can beat somebody inside that game. It's real fun. Battlefield multiplayer gameplay. Of course they had the EA is going to show some Battlefield, and they should finally show some multiplayer gameplay. Even though it's scripted, there's no way in the world all 4 or 5 of those dudes was going throughout the whole battle without dying once. Helicopter and stuff flying, shooting right at them but missing. Come on now, it's scripted. But we get the point. We get the point of how the battle was going to be. I like how they got inside the boat, and then right when it was about to blow up, they got on the jet skis and bailed out, and they went to the building and stuff and went inside the elevator. That's sick, you know. Imagine how many, you know, how much gameplay elements that you can have. Like, let's say you're holding out this fortification on this one floor, and you got some guys scouting out by the elevator, and you got like 5 dudes or 4 dudes inside the elevator. Pop a grenade inside there and blow up all their asses. Another thing is cool too. You think you're safe inside these big ass buildings? It can be taken down. It shows that inside there. That was cool. May draw a little bit of controversy, you know, but that was still cool though. So amazing gameplay. I like all the carnage that was going around, all the little mayhem that was being done. You know, Battlefield is always going to feel like an actual Battlefield. I always say this all the time. Every Battlefield game I've played stands up to its name. Battlefield, you know. Mirror's Edge 2. This game is like kind of confusing. Okay, so first off, when the game first came out, it didn't sell that good. The reviews were so-so. A lot of people really didn't too much. They said it was boring because you couldn't really fight. All you had to do was run from the enemies, and if you did fight, it was kind of hard because you ain't can get shot or hit a certain amount of times and you die. And it was just, it got like okay reviews, and it get like nothing like spectacular. Out of nowhere, these past 6 months, everybody's been like wanting Mirror's Edge 2, and it seemed like everybody started falling in love with this game out of nowhere. Even though the first game been out a long time ago, all of a sudden, just like Killer Instinct, all these game journalists start all of a sudden just talking about Mirror's Edge 2 out of nowhere. Like, where did that come from? You know, a lot of people don't know what the heck Mirror's Edge is. That's how old that game is or whatever. I think it came out 2005 or 2006 or something like that. Somewhere around, or 2007, somewhere around there. I never played it. I only played the demo. But my whole point is that, you know, the game, I don't think it's bad, but I just think that people just all of a sudden wanted the second one out of nowhere. Like, even though the first one, everybody didn't show the first one a whole lot of love. If they did, the second one would have been out a long time ago. So, you know, even though I never played the first one, I'm still looking forward to that. You know, not really strictly looking forward to it, but I think it's something cool, you know, to play. Now, let's move over to Ubisoft. That's all the things that intrigue me in EA. Ubisoft. South Park Stick of Truth, you know, it needs to hurry up and come out. I mean, they've been showed this game a while back, a long time ago. It looks just like the cartoon. That's one thing that's drawing me in. And, you know, South Park is funny. Sometimes it can be over the top, but people need to learn how to just let loose and just laugh about stuff. But sometimes they do overdo it with some jokes they make and stuff like that. And people, you know, and people judge the creators and stuff before, you know, just by their content. You know, we always had immature content, Beavis and Butthead, and all kind of stuff that comes on Cartoon Network around 8 o'clock at night, and it's not even nowhere near, you know, late at night, and you got these immature cartoons coming on and shows and stuff. So I mean, I just want to play it so bad because, like, the South Park game that came out a long time ago, it was like kind of stupid. I thought it was going to be just like the cartoon, but this one is actually looks like you're watching an episode of South Park. Everything is designed as if it looks like a cartoon. Like, it looks like you're walking through, all the characters are talking to each other as if it's a cartoon. So, like, that's going to be cool. I haven't watched South Park in like 2.5 years. But, you know, I still want to, you know, play the game and enjoy it and, you know, bring back some memories, some funny moments. Okay, The Crew, which is a racing game. You know, it looks very cool. You know, it has like a very cool co-op style cop versus racer slash driver gameplay to it. You know, me and 3 of my friends can get into a match and just race and drive across, you know, different terrain and stuff like that. Speaking of that, it's cool how you have all these different open environments. You can adjust your vehicle to those environments and stuff like that and race across country. And then towards the end of the video, they showed and like they zoomed out and made us realize that it's a racing MMO. Pretty much, it kind of seems like that's what it is, a racing MMO. So if you connect it online, you know, you're gonna you never know when you're gonna pass by a real player. You know, sometimes it may be AI, sometimes it may be a real racer. That's why like there's a lot of MMOs that have been like a lot of like multi-online, massively online games that have been talked about and announced E3 and before E3 and stuff like that. So that's where the always online. I think Microsoft is trying to like get everybody to like always be online on these games, because that's what these games are going to be catered to these days, or in the next gen, or whatever. Also, Assassin's Creed, you know, I only played Assassin's Creed 1, not because I don't like the other ones. I got Assassin's Creed 2, but just never played it. I'm trying to wait for like a huge bundle to come out so I can buy it. But like, even though I haven't played the other Assassin's Creed, like I'm getting burned out. It's like it's getting burned out and played out. Like every time I freaking turn around, every time I say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Assassin's Creed 3 and Brotherhood and all that stuff, and just have these games so I can play one after another. But every time I think I'm about to make the choice to go ahead and do it, they come out with another one, and then another one, and then another one, all because they're trying to do the Activision thing where, well, if people gonna continue to buy it, let's keep making it, you know. And it's just getting played out, you know. It's played out now. I can't see how people are still cheering for Assassin's Creed. It's played out now. I don't see how y'all not bored yet. How many Assassin's Creed games that came out in the past 3 years? Too damn many. Question answered. Anyways, no gameplay was shown. Fail. Enough said. Not to even elaborate more on that. And then the last thing I want to talk about, which, you know, a lot of these press conferences, they've been saving the best for last, and that is Tom Clancy's The Division. That gameplay looked awesome. The main thing that stood out to me inside this game that I loved, well, the first thing that stood out to me at least, was the micro-realistic destruction. And what I mean by that is like glass and small debris. You know, and it may seem like it's something small, but like if you actually watch that gameplay and the way the bullets was flying through the windows and stuff, and the glass, how the glass like actually folded out as the bullet went through it. Like if you pay attention to it, it looks like real physics impact. Like they really paid attention to the physics of every little thing that the bullets hit. And I paid attention to that when I was watching the gameplay. That's what made the game look real, like very realistic. You know, you can have as much graphics as you want, real good, you know, graphical detail, but if the physics isn't at match with it, then there's no point. It's like having a $2,000 graphics card, but having a freaking Intel 2-core processor at like 1.5 gigahertz and 2 gigs of RAM. What's the point? And like a 500 or 300 watt power supply. You're not running nothing, bro. So like everything got to match in order for to make these games feel like real next gen games and be real fun and real, you know, intuitive and intriguing and engaging. It's a massive online game, online multiplayer, you know. Like I said, a lot of games are trying to be massive multiplayer online games and stuff like that. So at first I was enjoying it until they showed that. In my opinion, I think they were better off having like an 8-player co-op campaign game and like a little simple multiplayer or whatever. Because like when they first was showing that, and I don't know if it was some real good voice acting or if it was like, you know, actual people playing it. I think it was like some scripted voice acting to give you the point that you're going to be playing with your friends through this versus other people in the world and stuff like that. Now, maybe still co-op, but you know, it showed that it's massive. If it's an MMO, so you know, who knows? But you know, for an MMO, that shit show did look good, and hopefully they're not going to scale back the graphics, and hopefully it looks just like that. You know, when you're playing with your friends and stuff like that, and playing with all these hundreds of thousands and millions of players, you know, all on the same server and stuff like that. So hopefully it doesn't hold back. But that game looked amazing. But the thing that just kind of ruined my appetite when I realized it was an MMO, like a massive multiplayer game. I just wish it was like a co-op game, just going through the city. You know, at first I thought it was Fallout, but they don't make Fallout. So, but I was still hoping that it was Fallout. But that said, it's been your boy Ubisoft about the Universal Gamer. Sony press conference is coming up in an hour from now. But of course, by the time you're watching this, it's probably like 2 days after I actually filmed this video. So I'm at hard work, man. I'm like right after I watch it, I'm filming, editing, while watching the other one. So I'm editing and writing stuff down, or typing stuff down while I'm watching the you know, stuff, and then right after that I get on camera and let you guys know. Just trying to do it better this year and stuff, and you know, let you guys know my opinions on what I've seen. You know, that's all this is. So with that said, it's been your boy Ubisoft, about the Universal Gamer, and I'm out. Peace. Motherfucker.